welcome again, folks. Good to see everybody here. Come on in, and you know the routine by this time, I hope. If you've been around for a while and seen what happens here at the schoolhouse. For those of you who are new here, who haven't been to the school here, this is Kemp's Ford School on the Blackwater River, Franklin County, Virginia, Southwest Virginia. That's important. And the year is 1850. I am the teacher here, Dave Diggs, and this is Dave Diggs History. That's two G's and the Diggs, by the way. I hope everybody's doing well in the heat. Is that what's afflicting you at the moment? Hollis? You're acting awful squirmy right now. Come on, out with it. There's a reason why you're being squirmy. He's often like this. What's going on? Yes, I have a new haircut. Is that what you're being squirmy? It is. All right, well, before we get down to today's lesson, let me take care of Mr. Hollis back there, and then we'll get into the lesson. For those of you who have been around and seen what happens here at Dave Diggs History Schoolhouse Edition for a while, you know that part of my pay, and this is typical throughout the United States at the time, particularly if you live in a rural farming area. It is typical that my pay is not based entirely on dollars and cents, although I wish it would. There's a reason for that, and the reason can be best explained by going back a few episodes to find the two that are on American coinage at this time. Judging by the number of likes, they seem to be pretty popular episodes. But beyond the 2 cents per person per day, payable once a month, sometimes, there's room and board. I get to sleep and eat with the families. It's part of, again, my pay. Well, one day, I was out with nobody really and happened to run across Mrs. Maxey. Two of her children, Levi and William, are students here at my class, and she is the widow Maxey, which is going to be important in just a moment. She said, "Mr. Diggs, Mr. Teacher, you're starting to look like one of my sheep. Why don't you let me give you a haircut?" Well, her observation had some merit. It was getting a bit long-ish, and so we decided I'm going to get a haircut. But it was done outside in the open air, in a chair, away from the cabin, because since she is the widow Maxey, it violates all sorts of protocols, decorums, rules. It just is not done that I am going to be spending any overnight time at the widow Maxey's cabin. So the haircut was done where everybody could see it, including the sheep. They were there too. They may not have been there to see the curiosity of some person getting a haircut. They heard the sheep shears. I was being given a haircut with her sheep shears. She might have used a good pair of scissors, but God forbid you ever pay attention. Like you, Hollis. Pay attention. Don't you ever grab Mama's good pair of scissors and start cutting anything other than cloth. You might feel the wrath of Mama if you do. That's the reason why I look this shorn, is because I was shorn. Does that help matter? Will you stop being squirmy now? Don't make me schedule an appointment between you and the Board of Education. Let's get on with the lesson. Take care of him later. Today's lesson is about perceptions, or perhaps the lack thereof, or perhaps different perceptions based on different influences. For instance, let's see here. Oh, here's a book. It's Webster's Blueback Speller. It's a book, of course. Requires no explanation, but yes, it does. Why do we call this a book? It looks like a book. It acts like a book. We've been taught this is a book. Inside the book are pages. Books have pages. Must be a book. On the pages are words. Books have pages, pages have words. It's a book. Pretty much everybody's in agreement this is a book. So's this, so's this. This is also a book. And McGuffey's Reader. Probably the standard for education nationwide. It's a book. Pages, words, it's a book. Everybody's in agreement on that? We hope. But there are some things that can't be said that are completely in agreement. Particularly if you were raised differently and you were taught differently, if you perceived things differently. Let me set the stage here. In the original Kempsford School, one-room schoolhouse, front door over there, it's the one you came in from. There's a double-hung window here, 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 here. They were propped up with sticks. It's technologically unadvanced, but it's cheap and it works. In between the windows, one on each side, is a blackboard. 4 times the size of this one, and this one is up front where everybody can see it. It has a date and a saying. The date gets changed every day. The purpose of these 2 blackboards was for me to post things on them to make this look like what a school would have been in the wonderful year of 1850. I would vary what got posted from time to time, hopefully to get people to look and show some interest, maybe ask a question or two, make a comment or two, something. And this one particular day, there were some people in the schoolhouse and a family came in. There was Daddy. He sat on the boys' side, of course. Male children here. Mama sat over here with the female children. And I did my 10-cent spiel, giving a half dime in change. And then I opened it up for question and answers. The gentleman, Daddy, over here, he raised his hand and waited to be acknowledged. Alice. And he said, well, I must say, sir, that I disagree with this one statement on the board here. The statement was, name 3 reasons for the American victory in the War of 1812. What could this be all about, I thought. So I said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. What can I do for you? He says, well, the statement is incorrect. You did not win the War of 1812. We did. We who's we? Sir, where are you from? My family and I are from Canada. And we won the War of 1812. Not you. Respectfully. Okay. I'm going through all the learning that I had in my own school, and probably you were taught the same way I was. The War of 1812 was fought for several reasons, one of which was British ships, part of the Royal Navy, were stopping our own ships on the high seas and removing people who they thought belonged to them, not us. Their citizenship, in reality, was not up to question. They said at the point of a weapon, you're one of us, get on board our ship. There were also a series of British forts on American territory left over from the peace treaty, the Treaty of Paris of 1783, which established the United States as far as Great Britain was concerned, because it was their concession that we're now an independent country. We said we were independent in 1776. They had a disagreement. They lost. The war was then again fought in 1812. They lost. The same person who was in charge of Great Britain in 1776, King George III, was the same person who was in charge of Great Britain in 1812. It was 0-2. They lost both times. So I'm trying to figure out, how should I respond to his statement and be polite about it? I did my best to explain from our perception, and then he explained from his perception in the way that's taught in their schools. The United States fought the war to get Canada. It did not get Canada. Therefore, you lost, and if you lost, we won. He phrased it a lot more genteel than that. I'm trying to simplify things. And while, yes, indeed, we did send some expeditions to fight in Canada, because that's where the enemy was, the British. And whereas some people in America advocated the complete takeover of Canada in a concept that later known in future generations as manifest destiny, I can't say that it was a war aim. As a matter of fact, there were some people around at the time, and later as manifest destiny kicks in and takes hold, there were some factions in our own country who saw it as their duty to take over and occupy the entirety of the North American continent and South America to boot, the entire Western Hemisphere. But I didn't explain that. That's future history, really. So he gave us his perspective, I gave them mine, and we parted amicably. Thank you very much for coming. I've learned a little something, and hopefully you have too. They went their way, and I stayed behind wondering, I wonder if this is ever going to happen again. It didn't. It was the only time that particular comment was offered about those questions. As I said earlier, I rotated the questions, statements, puzzles, mathematics problems. That little interchange between myself and the Canadians, which was pleasant enough. There was another, I guess I should say, this one was an incident involving what I had posted on the board that time. It wasn't on this board, it was on this board over here. Somebody had a reaction to the material that was less than pleasant, shall we say. But that's for another time. I'm going to call it a day for here and the lesson because it's hot and I am tired of listening to myself yammer on. Until such time as our paths cross again, I thank all of you for being here. You could have done anything other than this with your time, but you did this with your time, and I am flattered and appreciative of that. I have the honor to remain your most respectful and obedient servant. Coming to you from, can you all say it with me? You've heard it often enough. Coming to you from a long time ago. Thank you very much. Now, Hollis, a quick word, please.